Are you struggling to understand fast-spoken English, even after months of studying? Frustrated when you can't follow the conversations or movies? I was there. That's why in this video, I will share 5 effective tips to help you master your English listening. Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Monvie. To begin with, the problem is not even in the speed of English. You don't understand fast speech because you don't have enough knowledge in this language. You don't get it overall. It's not just about speed. Even if you change the speed, nothing will really change. You will struggle with understanding in any case. That's why you should focus on improving your listening skills than on understanding fast speech. It's a comprehension issue, not a speed one. I can say that when I have already a stable level in a language that I learn, it becomes not that fast for me. Just normal speed, Spanish, for example. Because I'm used to that. I can listen to that and understand everything. Although Spanish is a very fast language, but it just depends on how many knowledge do you have in this language and how good comprehension do you have. Now, let's finally move to the tips. Listen to English a lot. It's a first step to improve your comprehension. Listening a lot, and especially listening to natives because you want to talk like them. So firstly, choose an accent that you want to get in English and consume all the information only in it. Don't make things harder for yourself and listen to English in 5 different accents simultaneously, because then you'll mix all of them during your speech. Secondly, listen to those things or watch videos in topics that you're really interested in. Don't watch something just because you're so desperate on improving your English and you look for those TED Talks about psychology and astronomy, even though you're not into these topics at all. Watching what you like will be more beneficial for you because you can learn this vocab and then use it in your day-to-day life. As for me, I'm keen on self-development, so I consume plenty of content in all languages that I learn. For better comprehension, you can even rewatch certain videos or re-listen to podcasts. Firstly, each time you will notice new phrases and new words, and secondly, you will understand more and more. Of course, if you learn unknown vocab and not just listen to it. I do that all the time with movies or series that I've already watched. And also by this, I can really track my progress because back then when I was watching this movie, I could understand just like simple phrases, and now I understand everything. So it's really very motivational. Some people advise to watch videos in accordance to the level that you have in this language. But I don't do that because firstly, how can you understand the level of the video of that YouTuber? YouTubers don't write in their descriptions that this one video is only for B1 speakers. If you have A1 or A2, you can't watch it. And secondly, by watching only videos according to your level, you don't really challenge yourself. One day, you become so comfortable to this level that you don't want to move to another one. It's okay for you. That's why you need changes and challenges all the time if you really want to learn a language. No pain, no gain. You know that. The only thing you can get whether this speaker fits your level or not is, for example, if this speaker is speaking really slow, he doesn't almost use advanced vocab. And usually you can find these content creators on the channels that are dedicated to language learning. In other cases, it's almost impossible to find someone who will match your language level perfectly. Personally, I remember that when I started to learn Spanish, English, French, Turkish, like overall all the languages that I know today, I started from watching videos on YouTube, listening to natives. Yeah, and I started doing that from the first days. They had really advanced vocab, fast speed of their speech, and all this stuff. But did I learn these languages no matter what? Yes, I did. Of course, it took some time. For French, it took 6 months of watching videos of natives and not understanding anything, but as a result, now I understand everything. It really works. However, in this case, we should talk about patience of people because not everyone is ready to watch videos in a language that he wants to learn for the whole year and understand absolutely nothing. Yeah, I think most of the people, they will just give up on that. They will lose all the motivation. So it depends on each person. But here I share my methods, how I did that. So for me, it was a perfect method and I use it till today. Oh, one more tip. You can change the speed of the videos to challenge yourself a bit, as we all like challenges here, so why not? But there is one con, that you will speak fast as well, and it's already not that good. As when you speak fast, you're not able to monitor your pronunciation, grammar, sentence structure, and overall like how to speak in this language. You're focused on speed and you don't care about anything else. When you switch to a normal speed, it's so strange for you because you think, why do all these people speak so slow? Like, it's not okay. However, it's a natural way how they speak in real life. So keep that in mind. Listening to something on the background can be a good idea. It's, like more passive way of learning, but still, if you do that additionally to your main ways of learning a language and you're consistent with that, you will see your progress. Learn connected speech. This one is truly essential in English because one more reason why you get absolutely nothing when someone is speaking in this language, it's because they almost glue words together to say more in less time. And in most cases, it changes the pronunciation of the words completely. So for sure, you can't understand them. Connected speech is already an advanced level because if you learn it, you will really sound like native. Let me show you several examples with this connected speech. Instead of saying, did you, they say, did you? Did you do that? Did you call him? Could you? Could ya? Could you do that, please, for me? What are you doing? What you're doing, and many more examples like this. Personally, my favorite part in connected speech is elision. For example, instead of saying you and me, you just say you and me. Instead of saying next week, you say next week. In other words, you just drop sound at the end to make pronunciation of that word easier and to say it as fast as you can in order that no one could get what you said. Learn new words. When you consume information, you watch a video or you listen to podcasts, try to notice these new phrases and to write them down. But before this, always ask yourself, will it come in handy in your future talks? Don't learn everything that you hear. Focus on what you really need. One more problem why it's difficult to understand English speech by ear for you is because you have a poor vocab. You know words, but actually there are at least 3 ways to say each word in English. And not just in English, but in any language. I'm talking about synonyms. So of course, when you know only one way how to say a certain word, you will not understand others. For instance, when I learn a new French word, for example, of course, bien sûr, I look for at least 10 versions how to say that in this language. Then I choose the most frequent ones because if there are 10 ways how to say of course, it doesn't mean that you have to learn all of them. 3, 5, it will be enough. And the most important things that they are frequently used. By most frequently used, I mean that, for example, you listen to this language and you hear native speakers use this way very, very often. So you learn it. And because of this, I advise to listen to a language a lot. By this, you'll be able to analyze what are the most used phrases, which words are not used in daily talks at all. So you'll be aware of that and you will sound more natural. And maybe one day English speakers will say you, wow, you sound like a native. How great is that? Yeah, with English speakers it's possible, but I think with French ones, it's almost like mission impossible because French people, they are so accurate with their language and they can detect that you're a native just after one word. Yeah, you say one word and they already know, oh no, you're not a native. Come on, let's switch to English, okay? Read aloud. Why do I recommend this one? It's because you can see this text with your own eyes. It's in front of you. It's not like someone is saying something and you're trying to differentiate everything by ear. When you read, pay attention not just to the context and new words, but to everything. Usage of certain grammar tenses there, reductions, etc. And now what you can actually read. Articles on internet, posts on social media, Reddit, Quora, texts on ChatGPT. When I learn a language, in other words, I start learning a new language, I ask ChatGPT to generate me texts in this language. For example, now I do that with French. Despite that fact that I've been learning French for 1 year, but I'm so used to that, like to this text on ChatGPT because it's very convenient. You can ask it to generate a random topic and with using vocab that you need. As for Spanish and English, now I read only Reddit, but I recommend to read Reddit only when you already have an intermediate level because people there, not all of them are natives, so they can make mistakes. And when you read that, you can think that that's the correct way to say that. Eventually, you'll make that mistake all the time and no one will correct you. The same goes to posts on social media. You can start from tags on ChatGPT, then move to social media and Reddit. Summarize what you read and hear. Passive listening is good to an extent, but you also need to summarize everything that you listen to. What did you understand from that video or text? Summarize the main points to yourself. What's new you learned? New phrases, new words. For example, after watching this video, you can recall the main points, what would you like to add, what do you agree with and disagree with. By this, you interact with the content you consume and you turn on your brain and it finally starts thinking. Because when you watch a video or listen to something and it's on the background, you don't really pay attention to that video because you're doing other things. Yeah, you're listening to that, but eventually you don't learn anything new because you weren't focused on listening to that video. That's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you soon in my next videos. Bye!